Hello, people. I'm Jaby KOAY, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
Hello.
We have two special guests here today, Taapsee Pannu and Tahir Basin.
Are we saying your names correctly?
No, I like my name like that. I like my name like that.
How are we supposed to say your names?
Mine is Taapsee. It's not Taapsee, it's Taapsee Pannu. But that's okay. I like your pronunciation.
So it's like a Taapsee.
And
Taapsee,
mine is Tahir.
Tahir.
Tahir. Okay, there we go.
Yes. It's very good. Yeah.
It's good for now. It's going to be terrible tomorrow. So are we going to look at the trailer now? Is that what he said?
Yeah, we're
Okay,
going to check out the trailer first.
दुनिया से मार खाने की हमें आदत हो गई थी, इसलिए हमने एक दूसरे को ही अपना पेन किलर बना लिया। उसके लिए it was love at first fight. और मैं बहुत भाग चुकी थी, अब बस पाँव टिकाना चाहती थी। कसीनो जाना बंद कर।
सभी लाइफ बदल जाती है। All it takes is a day.
लाइफ का तो पता नहीं, तेरी शक्ल जरूर बदल गई है।
सभी we're so fucked.
Oh my God.
बहुत सिंपल होगा।
इस बैग को उस एड्रेस पर लेके जा। और तुझे पेट्रोल मिलेगा, वो तुझे एक बैग देगा, उसमें होगा 50। 50 क्या? लाख। 50 लाख। 50 लाख। 50 लाख।
God damn.
50 लाख।
50 लाख। अबे 50 लाख।
तो तू बेटिंग करने गया and you lost all the money, right?
I'm dead, सभी। ये मुझे काट डालेगा सभी।
If you know what I mean.
Shit.
50 लाख, 50 मिनट और एक यूजलेस बॉयफ्रेंड की जान मेरे भरोसे। अब इस बार लाइफ और डेथ का सवाल है, आप हेल्प करोगे कि नहीं? I said Napusa bro.
Sorry sis.
कर्मा का नाम सुना?
Who's Karma?
Oh.
मैं बंदूक निकालूंगा। मैं बोलूंगा hands up.
सत्या, no.
Oh.
ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? कैसे हो रहा है?
Circle of life.
Shit.
सत्या तो जिंदा है?
हाँ, अभी तक तो।
सत्या फिर से जिंदा है। And I have to save him this time. चुप सत्या, जहाँ है वहाँ रुक और ज्वेलरी स्टोर की तरफ जाने का सोचना भी मत। उनके पास गन है।
इसकी जान का रूप लपेटा, मेरे प्राण का रूप लपेटा।
The music's dope.
Yeah.
अभी सोच, कल सुबह तेरी लॉटरी लगने वाली हो और तू आज ही ऑफ हो जाए।
थोड़ा सैड नहीं हो जाएगा?
Oh, that's trippy.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay, just so you know, like I love the movie Lola Run, and so when I heard about this, I got stupid excited. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're remaking this, because I always wanted to see an American remake, and I was sad that they didn't do one. To hear that they're making an Indian remake, I was just juiced. I was like, wow, that's super cool.
I had a question for you, Taapsee. I've said your name wrong. It's Taapsee.
No, that's fine.
There we go.
That's good.
That's going to be the whole interview.
Yeah, it's going to be just us trying to say your name correctly. But you've played a bunch of badass women in your filmography, right? This character here is no exception, and she has to do a lot of running. Did you have to do any additional training, or are you just that cool? Like, just in your real life?
No, I'll tell you what, organically, life planned itself really well. Just before this, I was shooting for Rashmi Rocket, the other film that just released before this, for which I had to train myself into becoming a professional sprinter as close as it can get.
Wow.
So I was training for it. And I used to alternate the schedule between Rashmi Rocket and this. So I was actually using that training here. When you see the film, you'll realize how crazy is the resemblance of the fact that what I played in Rashmi Rocket, where the film ends, it almost looks like this film starts from where that film ends. It's almost like that kind of a weird connection when you'll see the film. Cool. Shooting wise, I mean, and actually, for small trivia is I ran much more for Loop Lapeta than what I ran for Rashmi Rocket, which is supposed to be a sprinter's film.
Wow.
I ran much more for this one.
When you each saw Lola Run, how did it affect you? Like, how did it inspire you guys? Because I know how it inspired me.
I was blown away by it. It was so ahead of its time in terms of how it dealt with time. The music is something that really stayed with me. And the second of how progressive it was. It was so, at least in India back in the 90s, to see that the female protagonist saves the male lead was a concept that was ahead of its time. And the style, just like the edit factor, and that all of the characters in the film stay with you in the end.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see you went up that one, Taapsee.
For me, no, actually, I did not see the film before I got an offer to do the film, the adaptation. Okay. I'll be very honest. I'd heard so much about it that it almost featured in our conversations. Whenever we used to ask someone to go run, like run, Lola, run, come on, you just start using this as a phrase in your daily life. I did that even without watching the film. So when this film came to me, I actually was under an illusion. I mean, I just did Game Over, and that film also had something similar in terms of concept when I did it. And I just come out of that film, and I got this offer, and I was like, I've just done Game Over, and this one is such a cult classic. Do I really want to touch it? I think I can be fine without it. But let me just, for courtesy sake, go and listen to the script. And I was just laughing and falling off my seat like every third minute. So I just loved the narration so much. So for a person who went with the perspective of saying no, ended up saying yes immediately after the narration, it was that good. So I was like, it's worth taking all that pain and effort and that huge risk of doing this cult classic. It's more like a homage, actually. When you see the Hindi version, things have changed, times have changed. It's a different land. It's got different cultural significance. It's not like, someone who's just like making it, placing it in India. It's got lot has changed. Lot has changed.
What we could glean from the trailer that we were watching through Zoom, it's weird to say, but it seems even more stylized than the original was, which was extremely stylized for its time. And there's a lot of action going on. Did either of you get injured during any of the action sequences?
I don't know about us. We have rigs who have gotten injured. We had like this. You're talking about I think all the credit goes to Akash and Yash, our director and our DOP. You won't believe even a stone that I used to throw in the film had a rig on it.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually see the stone's point of view of where it's going.
That's cool.
It's crazy. There was one crazy sequence shot on a moving cam. Moving cam, why I'm saying was because it was changing hands. From me crossing multiple roads, getting bumped into traffic and saving myself, and finally rolling on the bonnet of a car and falling down. So the camera is actually in a single flow going inside the car and coming out from the other side with someone else. So kind of things that they have done to shoot this film and make it look technically so strong and different. I mean, you can see that in the trailer. You'll be even more zapped when you see that in the film. That was because I think even Akash was mindful of the fact that we are getting into something that was known for its out-of-the-box treatment back then. Yeah. So it has to be out of the box for today as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love the phrase adaptation, and it's so important to differentiate that from a remake, because a remake is where you take the same script and place it in India. And like Taapsee said earlier, it's being made 2 decades later. So the technology that was being used in it had to reflect in that. And this is Akash Bhatia, our director's debut as a feature film director. He makes these very edgy, cutting edge advertisements. And so he comes from the world of advertising, and it's got a lot of that flavor. I don't know how many Bollywood films you all watch, but this, to me, when I watch the trailer, it does not look like a conventional Bollywood film in terms of its style, the costumes, the lighting. And they've been very mindful of the fact that it needs to look like it's an adaptation of an international film. And talking about injuries, I know a lot of action, like we were doing the action on a lot of people. So I remember the scene where we had to break those tiles on 2 other characters in the film. So
that's in the trailer as well. That
it is in the trailer. So we were inflicting unknowingly a lot of the injuries onto other people. But thankfully, because of great stunt teams and camera teams, we were shielded from that.
To answer your question, you said you don't know how many Bollywood movies we've watched. This will be our first one that we've ever seen.
Awesome.
I'm kidding.
That is, I know, Jaby, you watch a lot of. You guys are one of the very few trailer reviewers I actually see. And that is because just the style of reviewing, the way you guys talk about a film, you like it, you don't like it, but just the way you deal with it is just so good that, I mean, that's one reason why I look forward to seeing your trailer reviews whenever any of my movies is out.
Oh.
Well,
thank you. I appreciate that. You're going to make me cry.
My added question to that is, after you do an incredible trailer review, do you actually go and then watch the film?
Not all of them, but yeah.
Yeah, we try and watch the ones.
Honesty.
Yeah, we try and watch as many as we can, but
especially if Taapsee's in it. So,
right.
Tahir, you were familiar with Run Lola Run before signing on for this project. As someone who's familiar with the original, did you have to do any hard work to distinguish your character from the original, or was that all in the script? Did it come naturally?
I'm curious about that too.
It was a mix of both. Like when you're adapting for an Indian audience, one of the things you definitely amp up is the romance, because sort of India thrives on the chemistry between the leading pair and the romance. And I know for a fact that Satya is written very differently from Manny in terms of just the way he talks, the way he walks. And there was a lot of work physically and in getting that rhythm right with Taapsee to make sure that it's a couple that the audience is rooting for. You want Savi's character to save Satya because you want that relationship to last. And a lot of it hinges on the chemistry between the two of them.
Talking about the romance and chemistry, I mean, I don't know, it seems to be a little bit of a crazy relationship. Do you draw from your own personal experiences, or is this just purely fiction?
Taapsee, you want to go first?
Little bit, I'll say. I'm not maybe just like Savi, I'm not really the more romantic or the more mushy kinds. I'm little more trying to be okay, let's just cut the mushiness and let's just talk to the point kind of a person, which probably Savi is as well. But there's one thing I definitely don't identify with Savi at all. They're choosing the most jugadu person. Jugadu in India, someone who just somehow makes
looking
things
for shortcuts.
work. Yeah, the shortcut man. I'm not that shortcut man's girl, unlike Savi.
I have some fun questions if you guys can spare a few more minutes.
Yeah,
yes. Okay, cool.
Sure.
Taapsee, I'm going to mess that up. Did you ever consider going into real estate, and do you ever miss software engineering?
Neither.
Okay. Because if you don't know, Tahir, her father was in real estate, right? Unless Wikipedia lied to me. Okay.
Wikipedia tells the truth.
And then Tahir,
that was a tense few seconds there.
Yeah, it was very
intense. Delay.
What is your favorite Australian dish, Tahir?
My favorite Australian dish, just any kind of barbecue. They put so much stuff on the barbecue. Pumpkin soup apparently is the national dish over there. I had a lot of that.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I was scared you were going to say Vegemite, and then I was going to say we can't be friends.
No, not at all. I did try. I also tried kangaroo meat, unfortunately, but not my favorite, either of them.
You guys have kind of talked about how it's more of an adaptation than a remake, which I think is a really good distinction. But what is the special secret sauce or the special spice that really makes it stand out and be its own thing?
I would, with a little bit of bias, say the amazing two actors that you're talking to.
Slightly biased.
Slightly biased.
No, I'll say it's more of Akash Bhatia's lens that you are seeing things from. Forget about that, the fact that it's new, different for everyone, because he himself hasn't done a feature film before. So it's new in every possible way that you would have seen a person's vision who has never made a feature film before. So it's going to be a brand new vision of Run Lola Run in an Indianized setup. So that's, I think, the fact when you're director and there are 4 writers on film. So the 4 writers there on board have made sure every emotion is made to fit the Indian sentiment and made to fit 2022 that we are in now. So that itself is going to make you feel I think when you guys watch it, you will actually feel okay, this is not really what it was, other than, the baseline concept.
This is kind of a generic question. I apologize in advance. Were there any unique challenges that this film presented that you have not experienced in other projects?
The fact that that the same scenario would be shot 3 times in a row, like in the original, my character isn't aware of the fact that it's being shot. You're going through the same situation in 3 times. that's not something that you go through ordinarily in a feature. You shoot a film in a non-linear fashion when you're on set, but at least you're sticking to one timeline. So the fact that I was doing a time loop was interesting. And about the question of what makes it really distinct, I definitely agree with Taapsee. It's the style. India's it's a land of color. It's a land of music. You cannot escape that on the streets, in the marketplaces. But the way it's been stylized, I've never seen a film that looks like this. And I'm not saying this just because I'm in it. This one comes genuinely.
I believe you. I believe you. Yeah.
See, actually, it is. Imagine for me, it was just a run. There are a lot of shots. They were just like running across the street or running on a certain road. But even in the style of running was so different for each run, because the mind frame was different. A lot of things had gone wrong or right differently before and after each run. Every stretch, it's not like I ran it once and that you can just copy paste and use it all the 3 times. I had to run 3 different times the same stretch with 3 different emotions, with 3 different body language actually. So it was quite challenging like that. And another thing that people who are more technically versed with filmmaking will understand when they watch the film is, we have shot the film with wide lenses. There are hardly any close-up lenses. So I was actually shooting for my solo sequences where you see my close-up, was actually my camera was right here.
Wow.
So I could lick the camera if I wanted.
The joke really on set was that when there was a scene in which Taapsee and I need to make out as characters, and the DOP is right there in us. So it was a makeout with 3 people actually, because he was just so in your face all the time.
Yeah, she was so many times, guys, this is really awkward. I know it's quite like, it is very close because I was here, Tahir was here, he was here. So it was a very awkward thing to stand together to shoot close up, because we were only shooting on some really, really wide lens, and that was the style of the filmmaking.
So I imagine you both have watched the film already?
Yes.
Yes.
How does that wide angle lens being employed through most of this story, how does that affect you? Like, I'll never get to ask you guys this later. So how does it affect you as the viewer, for each of you, like when you're watching it?
What I realized was the background became a character than just like being something out of focus behind. When you're shooting a close up, then it's that the background is out of focus. You're concentrating on the person, right? But if it's wide angle, there's so much in the background that's covered, which also becomes sets the mood, sets the character of the shot. It's not just the face or just the actor in front. So that's why you're talking so much about the colors and the treatment, because you can see so much of the background that is there in almost every shot that you can see in the trailer. So that is how it becomes a character. So Akash has made sure that he's present in every shot in the film.
I think also because it's on Netflix, you can't always control where it's consumed. Like someone might be watching it on a really big screen at home, or on their laptop, or on the phone. Yeah. And as a result of these wide lenses, you get a sense of the world. Because otherwise, if you're watching it on the phone and it's an extreme close-up, it could be a very claustrophobic way of seeing the film. And so you get to experience the world more immersively.
I love it. That sounds so exciting. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I'm super stoked.
For the audience, when does it come out again?
It's on the 4th of February.
4th of Feb.
Amazing.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
All right, we won't take up any more of your time. Thank you guys so much for giving us your time and talking about the film. I'm very excited and looking forward to it.
Yeah, it was so nice to talk to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. The nervous feelings have finally gone away now that this interview is over.
That was so exciting. They were so lovely.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it for now. I'm looking forward to watching the movie and reviewing it with you guys. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.